Hello, welcome back for our next episode of Aliit by Beskar. I am extra excited today to see how some things go, because there's going to be a big reveal and some tough decisions to make, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I alerted the cast to the fact that they get to pick something like a wish spell, and it's been fun to watch the gears turn with that. So yeah, we're going to jump into it here very shortly. But before we do, I need to say a few words about our sponsors, and then we'll introduce everybody, and then we'll jump in. So our sponsors are Fundamental RPG. It's a simple D20 system. It's not tied to a genre, so you can use it to play any style of game that you would like, from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between. And it looks like this. And you can pick up your copy on Amazon, or if you prefer the PDF, you can get that at coffee.com/raven, like it's spelled at the bottom and top left-hand corners of the screen. Also, go check out Die Hard Dice. They sell amazing polymer metal dice sets and accessories. You can find all of their stuff at dieharddice.com. And if you use the code ANIMUS with a capital A, up until the 20th, you can get 15% off of your order. Normally it's just 10%, but they threw in an extra 5% off for the holidays, which is really nice of them. And then I highly recommend checking out the Avalor Is a Lifeblood set. I don't have a set with me, but they do look a little bit similar to this set that I have here. That's also the Avalor design. So they are clear, except they have red letters, or numbers rather. And they're perfectly clear instead of a little bit glittery like this set is. They're really, really pretty. And the Avalor set has these really nice cutoffs on the pointy bits on like the D4 in the corners of the D6. So it's just really a unique look. I really like it. You should go check it out. And then if you want to catch up on this show or any others that we have on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network, or over on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Black Feather Guild, and it should pop right up. And then I apologize in advance. I'm coming off of a cold, so I may take pauses to cough or breathe tonight. But we should be good to go. All that out of the way, let's do our intros. So V, starting with the top left, tell us a little bit about Anaka and yourself.
My gosh, it feels like it's been so long. I don't even remember my intro. Hi, I'm V, or Vanessa. I'm an artist. I work primarily in watercolor and pencil sketch. Ooh, English today. But a lot more digital stuff recently as well. And I'm working on a big piece, biggest canvas I've ever worked on. So if you want to keep up to date on that, see some of my work, you certainly can. I have an art Twitter, which is at Peppero Draws, and that's Pepper like candy, just below my name card up in the top left there. But I play Anaka, and she is a dark force using Togruta, who doesn't really talk about herself or her past very much, but she was taken from her home planet at a very young age and trained up by some not so nice guys. So she's on a bit of a path to revenge at the moment, which kind of got sidetracked as she found her way to this crew. But I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see her get her revenge sometime in the future. Don't know. But yeah, that's me, and that's Naka. She's got a funky little head friend that she keeps with her, an old Sith that talks to her and says weird things sometimes, but you know, we all love him. So yeah, that's me and Naka.
Excuse me. Awesome. Next, we normally would have Nikki at JaniePot7575 on Twitter. She plays Ilsa. Should be joining us a little bit later. But go check her stuff out on Twitter. She does a lot of really cool tabletop content on various shows. And then next, we would normally have Jordan, who can't join us tonight. She had a work thing, but she plays Nadara, which is a great character. And Jordan's also pretty fantastic. You should go check out her stuff at Sassy with Sander on Twitter. Which brings us up to Matt. Tell us a little bit about Jai and yourself.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a content creator of various stripes, and I play Jai Soren, who is the son of a clone commando, Mandalorian, he's having to grow up and become a leader, and he's disappointingly good at it for his own tastes. He hates the growing up part. But he sees a destiny in front of him, or I do anyway. So we're rolling with that today.
Awesome. And then next we've got Par. Tell us a little bit about Zadu and yourself. You might be muted if you're currently talking.
Yes, I am. I was muted. I had such a fantastic intro that time. Hi. Yeah, I'm Par. I just simply exist on the internet doing various projects. And I come from the ether to portray Zadu Baka, a Twi'lek who's raised on Kashyyyk with a bunch of Wookiees. And, he's lived that way for a long time. So he found family like that. He left, became a mercenary, and found another family with the Mandalorians. And then, in one shop in all the world, he stumbled upon his latest found family, Locke, his murder son.
Yep, Locke is fantastic. All right, and that just leaves me. I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various things that I do, most of which are tabletop related or adjacent. And get my link tree into chat there. There that is. And then I play everybody else in the galaxy, including Kieran Lal, who's a former Jedi, part of the crew of our ship here. Does a lot of piloting and anxiety. I guess would be the best way to put that. But yeah, that's me and what I do. Last session, we had a really interesting time in a cave on Dantooine, where our crew kind of got split up and had these force visions, for lack of a better description, that were sort of tests to see if they would seek power or not. And thankfully, everybody passed, and you were all put together in the same room. Excuse me. And presented with information where you sort of all heard this big booming voice that said that it was Dantooine, without really any further context to that. And I think that's pretty much where we left off. So I am curious, at hearing the voice say that it is Dantooine, what is people's reactions to that?
Can you ask the question again?
Sorry, what was that?
Can you ask the question again?
Oh, what is everyone's reaction when this entity says that it is Dantooine?
The whole planet, or like a continent, or like a crazy person, or
and this sort of deep booming voice that you can't quite tell if you're hearing with your ears or just hearing in your head or both. But it just says, I am the planet and the planet is me.
Okay, so you're smaller than I thought.
There's a bit of a chuckle and it says smaller.
We could hear you. You'd think geological things would be inaudible. Jai is lost in his rambling.
Okay. It just sort of lets you ramble. It doesn't really try to correct your assumption. How How about Anaka and Zadu?
I feel like this is not surprising to Anaka. Like, this girl has seen some shit. You know, a big booming voice is not the weirdest thing she's ever come across. But it's strangely, the only two images that come to mind are the scene in Wizard of Oz with Behind the Curtain, or the giant talking heads from Rick and Morty. Just yelling at us, "Show us what you got."
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Anaka's probably more concerned with if Jai is going to say something absolutely outrageous or not, and get them all like lasered off the fucking face of this planet.
I tell you what, Anaka specifically, you can roll knowledge galactic lore to see if you might know something more about like this entity.
I mean, I'll give it a try. But my knowledge isn't super fantastic. Let's try.
Because I think out of the whole party, you're the only one that might know something about it.
Okay, 19.
That's actually pretty good. So you do recall in your mysterious past training, hearing about not like necessarily planet-sized entities, but entities on various planets that were very large and had just massive connections to the Force that exist. So you've heard of something like this before, so it's not, as you said, it's not surprising or terribly concerning, I suppose. But you do know that these types of entities are very, very strong in the Force, and that individually, it's probably best not to make it angry, but that it's not like a completely undefeatable kind of thing. If you got it into your head that you wanted to, fight it somehow.
Raven, you're not talking to say like Jai, for example. I don't want to fight it.
This is just information, not suggesting an action at all.
I don't know what it is, and last I heard, anything planet destroying got blown up. So fighting's not an option for Jai either.
Yeah, like
surviving is.
You've heard stories of things like this being at least incapacitated by like a couple of Star Destroyers.
Would there have been any like protocol that I would have been instructed to follow in the presence of this sort of entity?
That's a fantastic question. Given your sort of level, the protocol on that was probably like, do not engage, don't talk to it, don't think about talking to it, and go tell your superior.
Right. So then part of Anaka is like, I'm gonna do the opposite of everything that I was ever taught. But then the other part of her is like, maybe I can understand why that was the protocol. So there's a little bit of like back and forth in her, whether or not she wants to just disregard everything she knows. But I think ultimately she doesn't make any sort of move to piss this thing off or, intentionally cause any harm.
All right.
And she doesn't say anything to Jai, just as long as, he just rambles. She's just like, okay, you do you, Sid.
All right. And how about Zadu?
A planet talking
Mm-hmm.
is sort of outside of the range of normal mercenary work.
A little bit.
So Zadu kind of looks at Jai and Danaka and just the rest of the crew, and just says, "Oh, so this is just a thing we do now. We just talk to things that shouldn't talk." Okay. And fully looks on the verge of a mental breakdown.
Jai like turns and looks at Zadu and just goes, "I don't know what to do, man. We're just spooky cave."
I think Nadara at this point probably says something along the lines of like, so does that mean you have like kyber crystals?
Why is that so on point?
To which it responds, all in good time. All will be revealed. So after you have a chance to give your sort of reactions to this, you get the sense that it's just sort of like staring at you, sort of sizing you all up a little bit further. There's definitely the sensation of being watched. And then after a long, probably uncomfortable pause, it just sort of says, well, since you've not come to this cave seeking power, what is it that you're seeking? Or what troubles you?
All of this.
Yeah, this whole day's been pretty weird.
This whole thing troubles me.
It's just like, pretty much just the kyber crystals.
That was, I guess, the whole goal. I just looks at Nadara, just like.
There's sort of another chuckle that sort of echoes and reverberates off the walls of this cavern that you're in. Excuse me. It sort of looks at Nadara, and it's one of those things like you can't really see any, face or anything like that, but you can just feel where its gaze is being directed, and it looks at Nadara, and a wall in the cave opens up, and there's like this little small little cubby that's just full of kyber crystals. Jordan will be free to retcon this and change it, but I feel like I've got a pretty good feel for Nadara's character. I'm going to say she squeals or some similar sound and runs in there and just starts grabbing them.
Okay. Hey, Planet, is that cool?
She's welcome to take as many as she can fit in her pockets.
Neat. So you just do anything? Wait, like anything? Wait, like anything?
Do you have a request?
Can you find something for me and tell me where it is?
If it's on the planet, I know exactly where anything is. If it's elsewhere, then I can try for you. I can see many things through the Force.
Well, to my knowledge, no one knows where it is. So it's entirely possible it's on the planet.
What is it you wish to know?
Have you heard of the Darksaber?
I'm trying to remember my Star Wars trivia now. Where was the Darksaber built? Do you remember? Just off the top of your head?
Are we doing old canon or current canon?
Old
Canon? They're kind of roughly the same thing. It was a Mandalorian Jedi of the Vizsla clan. So, Ilum or
Okay.
or Coruscant, presumably.
Okay, because I was gonna say I know there was a Jedi temple on Dantooine, so it's possible.
It was long ago enough. Like it predated KOTOR.
Okay.
Because so we can put it where no one has, to my knowledge, no one has specified where this event occurred.
Okay. I think I'll do it this way. There's a little bit of a pause. And it says, I know of the item that you speak of. It's been here in the past. I can seek it for you. Is that the thing that you most need or desire?
It's the next step to getting me what I need.
And it just sort of says, very well. And there's a pause. And let's see how long that pause is going to take.
7 days.
3 days later.
It takes about 30 seconds. And during that time, there's almost this like oppressive level of just presence in the cave. Like, imagine the sort of power that you were all able to feel coming off of like Darth Degen or Darth Next, just like being in the same room as these powerful Sith, and ramp that up by a factor of like 10. Even people who aren't force sensitive are able to feel this. And then after that pause and feeling like that, the voice comes back and says, I've found what you're looking for. It's not here.
Nuts. Can you tell me where it is?
It is... it's not on a planet. It's out among the stars on what you would call a spaceship.
Jai like holds out his data pad, his gauntlet data pad, and just like opens up like the notes app, and just like, do you know coordinates?
The voice chuckles and says, the way I navigate space is very different from the way you small things do. I can tell you it is excuse me. And it says some string of words that you have no translation for. And then there's a pause as obviously you are like, what? This is there's a spaceship orbiting a moon that's covered in trees.
Thank you. I'm aware of which ship you are talking about, planet. You have been most helpful.
This news seems to have made that fluid that moves through your body go faster. Are you all right?
Don't mind me. Just plotting a small disagreement with a brother.
And there's just sort of another pause and this sort of chuckle, and it just says, you small creatures are funny. And then the gaze shifts over to Anaka, And it says, is there something that you want?
I have been absolutely racking my brain trying to think of something. And I just don't know. I like there's no physical object that she wants because she still has her original lightsaber, and that's probably the only thing of any value to her currently. And I mean, she kind of already has a vague idea of where she needs to go, so she doesn't need directions.
Okay.
And I don't really think she's spent any much time thinking about anything just for herself for fun. I don't feel like fun is something she considers a top priority. So I don't know. What do you say in the face of a giant planet-sized entity who's like, what do you feel like doing today? I don't know, planet.
We can also come back to Anaka, but if it helps, if Anaka is showing some sort of indecision or uncertainty, it would probably give you some options. Like, it can be, I can send you somewhere, I can show you things from the past or from the future, I can bring items to you or take you to items or people, or I can unlock your potential. And with that, we'll come back to Anaka, but that'll give you some ideas, hopefully. And then also welcome in Nikki. So to catch up real quick, everybody's talking to this entity that's said it is the planet itself, and it's essentially giving out favors with its immense amounts of power. So the things that I just mentioned to Anaka, things like that. Jai asked where the Darksaber was. Nadara asked for kyber crystals, and there's like a little cubby full of them that she's currently shoveling into her pockets. And so when Dantooine shifts its gaze to Ilsa, what's Ilsa's answer to, what is it that you most need or most desire?
To have the power and ability to get vengeance for my world and family.
There's a deep and a pause. I'm afraid that's not something I can necessarily give you, but I can unlock your potential in the Force.
Okay, that works.
So Ilsa, you feel this like, it's almost like a giant hand, like way, way bigger than a human hand. It feels like it just like sort of rests on your head and shoulders. And that whole cavern that you're in fills with that sort of almost oppressive presence. And it's not oppressive in like a malicious way, just in that there's just so much of it that it might even feel kind of hard to breathe, as it's just completely filling this room. And you feel this sudden strong connection to the Force, and suddenly you can see the entire history of this planet. You see stormtroopers marching across the planet and laying waste to villages and things like that. And then the clock seems to go backwards, and you see Jedi peacefully exploring the planet. And you see different species of creatures sort of evolve and live and then go extinct. And it's a lot to sort of take in all at once. But as you experience all of this, you feel a little wiser, and you can increase your wisdom attribute by 1 point, and then take a let's see, use the force uses charisma, so just give yourself like a +5 miscellaneous bonus and use the force.
So +1
to wisdom,
wisdom. Okay.
and then a +5 to your use the force.
I think I need that +1 in real life.
+1 to wisdom in real life would be great. Just always.
Let me just write it down since I'm having trouble with my thing as usual.
No worries. But yeah, that's sort of the mechanical benefit of it, but it gives you more wisdom. And whether or not Ilsa takes all of that experience and translates that into more patience and being a little less eager to destroy things is entirely up to you. But Ilsa probably, not even probably, definitely can tell that was the intention of Dantooine, was to show you, vengeance is ultimately doesn't accomplish a whole lot in the long run. But regardless, it gives you a deeper connection to the Force, which you can then translate into more power if that's what you decide to do.
Okay.
And with that, it's going to shift its gaze over to Zadu. And it says, "You are a very interesting little two-legged thing. You have many histories. What is it that you would most need or most desire?"
And now it's speaking to me. Yeah, okay. What do I most desire? Well, we're going up against the Sith, and they've got a lot of ways to mess with your mind. I'd like to prevent that.
There's a pause as it considers something. And it says, "I too have had experience with defending against the Sith. Which Sith is it that you're fighting? Do you have names for them?"
It's been a bit while.
Do you need me to repeat the names out of character?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So it's Darth Jin and Darth Nex are the two Sith that you're actively fighting. And I can't remember how you got this information, but I do know that you all have it. There's a Lord Drakich that was the ancient Sith who went to the unknown regions, and that's who trained these two.
And Jin has the Lord Drake, and Jin has the multiple lightsabers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jin's the Kaminoan with the excuse me, now 11 lightsabers.
Okay, yeah. Darth Jin and Darth Nex are the two we're worried about currently.
And there's another pause as the room gets, again, very full of that presence. And slowly fades back to normal. And that voice speaks up again and says, I now know who you're up against. I I can help you defend your mind and give you information on where they come from and what is coming. But there was a cost to that. In order for me to make it so that you have a better defense, I would need to diminish your connection to the Force. Would that be acceptable?
I don't have a connection to the Force.
There's this big, deep chuckle that echoes off the walls. It says, everything has a connection to the Force. Even if you can't use the Force, you still have a connection to it. What I would do, you probably would not notice any difference, but it would change you.
Well, Force Schmorse. The galaxy's in danger. Let's get it done.
Okay. And you feel a hand, that large hand, much like what happened with Ilsa, come down and rest on your head and shoulders. And as it starts to work, the world around you momentarily becomes less vibrant. Colors seem a little less bright. It's a little dull, more dull. Sounds and scents seem a little muted. But it only lasts for a few seconds, and then it all comes back, and you feel pretty much normal. And what essentially happens is you get a -5 on use the Force, but you get a +5 to on any roll that's to defend against a Force power.
Nice. Okay.
And once that's done, the presence recedes a little bit, enough to where it's not super heavy in the room, but it is still there somewhat. And almost like a really, really good holo projector, like in full color, there's this display that sort of opens up in the middle of the room that everybody can see. And it says, as for those you fight, Darth Degen and Darth Nex, they were trained by one who once set foot on me, on this planet. His name was Lord Drakich. He came from the Sith homeworld in search of power. And for that, I sent him away. And as Dantooine speaks, you can see the planet. And you can see this very imposing-looking figure stepping off of a very Sith-looking spaceship. And you can see him moving through this very cave that you're in, and being forcefully expelled from it. And the voice continues speaking and says, after I sent him away, he left the planet and went to the deeper regions of space, seeking power. And he found it. And the display changes from the planet of Dantooine to sort of a map of the galaxy. And you can see one of the corners of the galaxy, which is known as the unknown regions, where nobody's really explored and come back before. And it kind of zooms into that, and you can see sort of a montage, if you will, of this Sith Lord going to planets and just conquering the people there and forcing them to build spaceships. And you see him coming across various other ships that came from the central regions of the galaxy, some that carried Jedi, which he either turned or killed, and other carrying Sith, which he recruited to his forces, his sort of group. And it sort of fast forwards a bit, and you can see this massive fleet of ships based on ancient Sith ship designs that are all painted this matte black and look very unnervingly similar to those ships that you saw around Endor. And the fleet is massive. Like, it's the size of the entire Imperial fleet. And they're all manned with Sith warriors, and they're not all, like force power wielding Sith, but they are all soldiers for this Lord Drakeage. And you can see the fleet moving towards your region of space. And Dantooine shows all of this to you and says, this is what is coming. What's everyone's reaction to that?
Well, I took my lightsaber that's not ready right now because I can beat them all with my lightsaber.
There's booming laughter that echoes off of the walls. And you can feel that giant hand just sort of like pat the top of your head a couple of times. And you definitely get the sense of, it doesn't say anything, but you get that sense of like, sure you can. How about everybody else?
Jai is still very much fuming over what he was told, so he's just in kind of like a, yeah, this may as well happen today.
I love Ilsa's enthusiasm. That was so great. How about Zadu? You might be muted again.
Seeing this this threat happening, Zada's already sort of working the numbers in his head about, okay, so awfulness is coming. How many people will we be able to get together for this impending doom to combat it? And the galaxy is still a little scattered, not a lot of friends going around, so he's very worried.
That's fair. That's very fair. And yeah, Zadu would probably figure like, well, if we got the New Republic and part of the Imperial Remnant, maybe those numbers would queue up.
Yikes.
Zadu's thinking real hard about how to get the Imperial Remnant involved. Then,
Um,
so that might be the might be the tiebreaker in awfulness.
True, which the light bulb would probably go off for Zadu and everybody else, more than likely, as to why Darth Degen and Nex have been working so hard to solidify their claim on the various parts of the Imperial Remnant. Almost like they know that would be a deciding factor in a battle for the galaxy.
Oh, we are so behind.
A little bit. And then finally, Anaka, what's your reaction? And then what's your answer to the question of what is it you most want or need?
In terms of reaction, this is probably one of the few times that Anaka does not have like some sort of witty or stupid comment to make. She does not share Ilsa's enthusiasm for the fact that, oh, I can take on this entire thing with one lightsaber. She looks not exactly like thoughtful, but like she's trying to work through the ramifications of something like this. And yeah, she doesn't have any kind of quick snip to really come back with. In terms of what she wants, she says, like, I don't suppose you would choke the life out of someone for me, would you?
That's an interesting question. Would this thing do that for you? That's a good question.
My assumption is no.
Yeah, I think the response is, I can't do that for you, but I could send you to them, and you could do it.
That kind of gets like a little grin from Anaka, and she's like, no, I'm quite confident in my ability to chase them down. But you know, if you could kill them instead, then I wouldn't have to do that, but that's okay. She also briefly thinks maybe a look into the future would be good so that she could know if she succeeds, but that wouldn't help her to succeed. She'd still have to find that out. So she kind of decides instead, like, rather than taking a look into the future and risking seeing something that I'm not going to like, maybe just like she wants to beef up a little bit, follow in these footsteps and kind of superpower herself up a little bit so that she doesn't need to look in the future. She can just be confident that she knows she's going to fuck shit up.
I see. So Anaka wants Dantooine to unlock her potential then, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. This in no way, shape, or form means that what I'm about to do is going to be bad for Anaka, but I'm just going to ask, are you sure that that's what you want?
Yes.
Okay. So, a very similar thing to what happened with Ilsa happens. You feel that hand on your head and shoulders, and it's not like crushing weight, but you can definitely feel a sort of heaviness from it. And instead of seeing the history of the planet, you start to see like the history of the Sith and the Jedi. And their sort of long-lasting struggle against one another. And you start to see sort of the merits and the flaws of the Sith and the merits and the flaws of the Jedi. And it sort of leaves you with the impression of, at least to Dantooine, the entity, neither side seems particularly the best. You're able to see very clearly the flaws that exist in both philosophies. And it almost presents you with like a middle ground. Sort of gifts you with this sort of, for lack of a better term, gray Jedi philosophy. And in doing so, it also gives you +1 to wisdom and a +10 to use the Force. And what you have Anaka do with that philosophy and that information is entirely up to you. But that is what Dantooine presents you with.
All right. Well, we all know that Anaka is not too chatty about sharing the things that happen to her. She doesn't say anything.
Okay. And the presence starts to recede from the room a bit more. You can all tell it's still there, but it's not as heavy. And right about that time, who has their comm links on?
All the time.
I figured Jai would.
Yeah, I think Elsa has it on.
Okay.
I mean, I hope we have it on. We literally just tangled with a whole dragon.
I just wanted to make sure, like, nobody turned it off when they went into the cavern or something like that.
Seems like bad practice for you.
All right, then you all hear it. There's a very raspy, familiar voice that comes on over the comm link, and it says, "You know, I didn't think I was going to have a use for the Jedi, but it turns out I do. Thanks for leaving her on your ship for me. I'll be seeing you." And then it clicks off. It's
Who's is this?
It's I can't redo the voice at the moment because
Yeah.
the throat thing.
Right.
But it's Darth Nex's voice.
Huh.
And yeah, it just ends with "Thanks for the Jedi. I'll be seeing you," and then it clicks off.
Jai just like does not turn his head, just points at oh my gosh, what's her name? Oh no. My brain just turned off.
Naka, Nadara.
Anaka. It's Anaka.
Oh
my
now,
goodness.
if you ever thought that they were going to have best friend status, you just threw it out the window, my friend.
Matt's brain turned off, not Jai's. Jai
Fair
is
enough, fair
pausing
enough.
out of fury. Jai points at Anaka and just goes, "Get to the ship right now." Because he knows she can teleport.
Jai, I think you wholly misunderstood the ramifications of that particular talent.
Oh, okay, cool. Planet, can we take us to our ship right this second?
It's, you can feel the gaze looking at all of you. And it says, "Well, I've already given you all a gift. I could do you one more favor, but it would come at a cost."
Done.
Hold on, let me see what my
What's the cost?
hold on, before anybody starts chopping off their limbs, let me just look at how this power works. Maybe I can do it. Okay. My force power sheets are out of order, but I do have this one here. So, yeah, transporting an object almost instantly. So, I guess it would work. Let's just see if I can do it. Where's the other sheet?
Okay.
Oh, that's ion damage. Oh, here we go. Found the second page. How far away are we from the ship?
Oh no, we're a minute. We're
Yeah.
a minute away.
You're like, I think it took you like a good hour or two of hiking through difficult terrain to get to where you are now. You could definitely, I know you for sure you could get out of the cave. I don't know if you could teleport to the ship. How far can you teleport with that?
The biggest DC on this page, it says you can move a colossal or smaller object up to 30 squares.
Oh, it's way more than 30 squares.
What if I do it twice? I'm kidding. So if I do 30 squares and run.
Yeah, you could teleport yourself out of the cave and then just book it if you wanted to try that.
Oh, but that's not gonna work. We all know that's not gonna work. Anaka can't run that fast.
Jai is completely okay with just agreeing to the planet's terms without hearing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part that scares me a little bit. Of course he is.
Nope. Saving crew. Saving family.
What is the price?
As soon as Adu asks that, you can feel that gaze turn towards you. And it just says, what would you all be willing to give?
Ooh, secondary question. If I use a destiny point, does that get me any more squares?
If you used a destiny point, I would say that you can teleport out of the cave, and have some cool animal be out there that you're able to just like mind control to run faster.
I'll take it.
Okay.
You guys can stay here and negotiate your terms and chop off your limbs, but I'm gonna skedaddle real quick. I don't think Anaka she doesn't say anything. Like Jai says, get to the ship now. And in this particular moment, just the kind of demeanor of not joking, she picks this moment to be like, okay, I'm gonna listen. Just this once.
Less.
All right. So what's Anaka doing right this second?
So as soon as Jai kind of indicates, she hears Zadu say, like, what's the price?
Mhm.
But Jai having said, like, get to the ship now, and her kind of understanding that he's not just being a bossy little Betty, this is actually important. She's going to use her force power, and she's going to fold space to get herself out of this cave.
Okay.
And even if they end up taking this deal or getting there first, at least they have two bases covered, and she's already moving. So she activates this power and kind of like ends up outside the cave.
Okay. As you, as you get outside the cave, the first thing that you see immediately is this sort of like Sith interceptor, like the ship that Darth Maul goes around in the prequels. It looks like that. Taking off, heading out of the atmosphere. So you see that immediately, and it's easy to guess, like, oh, that's probably Darth Nex, which means Kieran's probably on that ship. The next thing that happens, it's sort of like a Minoc, but it's a lot larger. Just sort of swoops down, and you instinctively, perhaps through your new connection to the Force that Dantooine has given you, you instinctively know how to reach out to it and ask it to carry you, which it does. And you are able to fly down to the ship and get there in like a quarter of the time that it would have taken you.
Sweet.
And you are able to use your comm if you want to communicate anything back to the group.
Yeah. Anaka will probably just send out a message to let them know that the interceptor is gone. and just kind of see what they're doing. Like, are you coming? Do you want me to go? We need to make a decision yesterday. What's happening?
Is our Jedi friend already off the planet, Dantooine?
I'm not certain that the one you refer to is a Jedi anymore, but yes, the other one that was with you is no longer here.
No,
Semantics planet.
You're right. You're right, Dantooine. I apologize. That's not how she identifies anymore. She's gone. Okay. Well, thank you for the kind offers of transport. We're gonna hike back and leave.
I can send you nearly anywhere in the galaxy if you wish. But
Really?
the further the distance, the greater the cost.
Jai looks at Zadu and says, y'all need to get to Endor. And then looks back toward the general place where the planet is and just goes, take me to the Darksaber. I don't care what the cost is.
That feels like a great place to take a break. So we'll go on a break there, and when we come back, we'll find out what it's going to cost Jai and how much trouble he's in.
Oh
and,
boy.
and how quickly the rest of the group can go save him. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. So, Anaka is riding a really cool flying creature on her way to the ship. Jai has said, what was the exact wording again there, Matt?
Take me to the Darksaber. I don't care about the cost.
Okay. Nadara is gonna run to the ship, and then Ilsa is also running to the ship. Is that right?
Yeah, it was Adara.
Okay. So those two take off. How about Zadu?
Oh. I was like, wait, what about Zadu?
The
Haven't
thing.
made the deal yet.
All right. Zadu will also be sent somewhere. He's going to be sent to Olar's Yavin 4.
Okay.
And he's going to give up his memories.
So Dantooine, you can feel it like staring intently at Zadu. And says, "You're willing to give up all of your memories to get to Yavin?" And it's a question.
Absolutely. Things seem to be a bit more complicated than a single man's memories.
Very well. I will send you to the one who calls himself Lars, along with the information that I gave you, so that he'll know why you're there. And I'll let you retain your memories of your family, but I'll take the rest.
Jai is looking hard at Zadu right now.
And with that,
Zadu gives you the parent eye, like, "Oh, you're making a bad decision. I'm also making a bad decision."
I don't think it's a competition.
And with that, some of the crystals and gemstones that are in the wall of the cave, this little line of light seems to connect several of them until it forms sort of a door, and it's just this glowing sort of bright light in this doorway, and you get the strong sense that that's your exit for Zadu.
I'll look at Jai. Well, I mean, you are the captain, so either way,
Jai,
you've chosen to take more responsibility.
Jai just like shakes his head, and is like, "Hey, the droid won't forget you, right?"
I'm not sure if I will remember, but you will. That's good enough for me.
Jai holds out his hand to Zadu, and it's like, yeah, I will.
Full clasp. We're doing the damn Mandalorian thing.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, I'll see you on the other side.
Stay safe, brother.
And he'll step through the doorway.
All right. And Zadu disappears. And that door goes away, and it's just cavern wall. We'll come back to Zadu in a minute. So Jai, you feel Dantooine look at you. You're the only one left in this cavern. And says you don't care about the cost, so what is it you're willing to give up?
So Jai reaches onto his back and pulls out his blaster. He takes off the Beskar vibro bayonet, sticks that in his belt, and he holds out the blaster and says, "This and the paint job on my armor are all I have of my parents, my biological ones. It's the only ties I have to his history, to the war that he fought in, the war he was used in." And Jai holds it out.
The blaster sort of starts to float through the air, just sort of hovers there in the middle of the room. And there's a pause, just sort of hangs there in the air, much like the blaster. And then Dantooine speaks. Says, "Perhaps it's time for you to focus on your own war." And the blaster just sort of disappears, and another door opens up in the wall.
Yeah. Bigger things than Dad. Jai pulls the bayonet back out of his belt, holds it in his hand, and runs through the door.
All right. As you run through the door, if you look down at your armor, it's almost like you're running down this hallway made of light. And as you run, all the paint off your armor starts to peel away until it looks like just shiny Beskar, like for any that have seen the show The Mandalorian, like that. Though, as you reach the end of the hallway, you can see on your gauntlets, not the rest of it, but just the gauntlets, the part that's easiest for you to see, the paint on those matches the paint job on the ship that you've been flying around in with the crew this whole time. And then you come out the other end, and sitting in a room on a spaceship, very clearly a Star Destroyer, there is Saxon holding a very familiar looking hilt of a lightsaber. And we'll pause there and head over to Zadu. So Zadu, you have a similar experience. There's a hallway that just seems to be made of light, and as you run down this hallway, you can feel memories starting to fade away, until by the time you're at the doorway to the exit, excuse me, the only things that you remember are the crew and Locke, and you just remember them, and that you need to save Kieran, and you remember who Kieran is. And as you step out the door, you're face to face with a very bewildered looking Master O. Lars at the Jedi Temple on Yavin 4, who looks up at you and says, "Hi. Where did you come from?"
You old Lars?
Yes. And he's got like one hand on his lightsaber hilt, a little cautiously.
So I know why I'm here.
Yes, you do know why you're here.
Okay. My name is Zadu Baka. I've come here to gain your assistance in freeing Kieran Law.
Kieran's in trouble. Okay. How did you get here?
Details are funny, but I have a message for you.
He just sort of nods and is like, yes, what is it?
Zadu will try to relay it, I guess.
As you start talking, you find that like verbatim, the word for word, what Dantooine told you, just comes to mind very clearly. And that same sort of like display in the middle of the air shows up, and Lars gets the same sort of montage of everything. And with that, he sort of just like plops down into a chair and goes, huh. Okay, that's a lot to take in. I didn't know Dantooine could talk. I need to consider this carefully. But we will go help your friend. We'll go help Kieran. If you would like, you can go eat. I don't know if you're tired from that sort of travel. But he sort of just like motions you to the rest of the temple. It's like, I need to talk to a couple of my fellow Jedi, and then we will come up with a plan as quickly as possible.
Zadu nods. Not a majority of his memories. Zadu's kind of just reverted back to sort of just a soldier. So he salutes, says, I don't need to eat. Let me know as soon as you have a plan ready.
Okay. And as soon as you leave the room, there's like an intercom thing that goes across the whole temple that urgently calls all of the masters to a council room. And you can see people like running. So you definitely get the sense of urgency is understood, and that they are acting on that. And then we'll hop back to the ship where we've got Anaka, Ilsa, and Nadara. And you can see that the ship is fine. Everything looks to be in order except for the room where Kieran was in. That door has been cut open with a lightsaber. And the main door to the ship was open. But aside from that, everything is exactly how you left it. And if you try to calm Zadu or Jai, there's no answer.
If I try to calm Kieran,
There's also no answer. Actually, there probably is an answer, but it's more like you can hear yourself coming from Kieran's room. So you're able to find that her comm link is on the floor in there.
and I know we know what planet she's going to, but does the tracker thing? Is there a way to track her with it or no?
No, there's not.
Okay.
You could attempt to do so through the Force. There's not a high degree of success. Like the odds of succeeding at that are pretty slim, but they're not zero. So you could give that a try if you would like.
Yes, I am going to give that a try. Just give me one moment to roll.
No worries.
And while I'm doing this, she's like staring at the device, like intently.
Okay.
So did this work? Did it work?
34. Yeah. That's a really good roll.
Is that a 20? No, it's not.
No, 17 though. That's a really high roll. So a 34, you can sense her presence. It's not quite like a tracking device where you could like say, oh yeah, she's, at these exact coordinates. But
Nikki, did you add in that extra 5 that you got?
I'm not sure. I tried to put it on the roll thing, and I can't click to see what the roll came up to be.
Let's see.
Okay, if you added it into the miscellaneous section, then yes. Okay.
It looks like it's in there. +5 miscellaneous.
Damn, trying to get you some extra points here.
It was good to double check. So
Use the force, right?
Yeah. So you can't get exact coordinates, but you can definitely get like a compass sort of direction. And you get a general sense of how far away she is. On an individual scale, she's getting very far away very quickly. On a spaceship scale, it's not too bad of a head start. You feel like if you can get the ship up and going relatively quickly, that you can, keep up with the other ship at least.
Well, I'm going to try to do that.
Okay. Who's flying the ship, I guess is the question. Because both of your pilots are not on the ship.
I guess Ilsa will.
Okay.
Yeah, Anaka's piloting stat is lower than Ilsa's, so.
Go ahead and roll for pilot. I think you're muted there, Nikki.
Sorry, I said last time I rolled pilot was when I crashed my TIE fighter, I think.
Oh no.
So let's find pilot.
You did level up recently, so you should have a full stock of force points at least. If it doesn't go well.
Let's see what it decides to do.
31. That's actually really good.
Wow, yeah.
Was that a nat 20? Nope, 17 again. That's fantastic. Yeah. So a 31, yeah, you're able to hop into the pilot seat, flick all the switches really quickly, and it looks really impressive. And you're able to get the ship moving double time. As you are exiting the atmosphere, however, you all may recall there was another group of people on Dantooine when you approached. The New Republic is here, and they do catch you sort of hightailing it out of there, so you get hailed. There's a message incoming. Does Ilsa or Anaka answer it?
Ilsa's a good talker. She can get it.
Sure.
Anaka
Ilsa.
might just hang up on them, so.
Sure, why not? Ilsa will answer it.
The response is it's a different person than who you talked to before. On a different ship. So they just say, unidentified craft, please, state your business here. You're in restricted airspace.
Well, we're leaving it now. So bye.
Could I get a persuasion roll?
Yeah.
Can you imagine just going, it's none of your business, and then being like, I guess.
I got 20.
20?
Can I throw a force point in?
Sure, if you would like.
Is this a really high DC thing?
It's average. Like a 20 isn't a failure. I'll put it that way. So 20.
That's 3.
3, so 23. Yeah, the response back is like, oh, okay. If you could just, I understand. Maybe you didn't know this was restricted space, so if you could send me your registration, then and just make sure you don't come back through here. That'd be great, and then we can just let you go on your way.
My pilot is sick right now. I don't know where the registration is, so I'm just flying.
Could I get a deception roll? I know that very technically that is true, but she's not on the ship, so I'm just still going to say this is deception and not persuasion.
Oh my goodness. Oh, only 16.
16?
Yeah, can I throw it for poison that?
You can, but I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference.
Okay.
You're not going to get shot down or anything like that if you fail this, just as a heads up.
Okay.
So.
Oh wait, I don't get a reroll. That's perceptions that I get the reroll for. Okay.
Yeah. So it's about the extent of or the outcome of that we're all fine here now, how are you conversation from the original movie. They're like we're gonna need to have that registration, and you end up with a couple of X-Wings following you. So you have an option here of trying to send them that registration, trying to talk your way out of it, or just running away and having some X-Wings follow you.
So we don't have a registration, do we?
Yeah, you've actually got a couple. There's the primary one, and then what's the current Imperial one?
Imperial Douce.
Douce, okay, it is still that one.
And we're facing who again?
The New Republic.
I'm just going to speed away.
Okay.
Anaka is going to try and send the registration. Can Anaka do it?
Yeah.
While Ilsa tries to run away.
Absolutely.
Let's tag team it. I feel like that might get us somewhere.
Could I get a knowledge technology roll from Anaka? Just because I think that's fun.
So just for reference here, because I just noticed, my knowledge technology, not as great as my use of force. I have a plus 26 to use the force now. Technology, on the other hand, plus 8.
Okay. This is literally just to see if you know which registration to send over, so it's a very low DC.
Okay, 20.
Okay, yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
You send over the correct one. But if you check the sensors, you definitely still have X-Wings following you.
Well, we did what they wanted, so Anaka doesn't give a fuck. That sounds like a them problem.
Yeah, it's just like 4 of them, so it's fine. They're not shooting at you, they're just following you, and you get out of the planet's gravity well, and you're able to make the jump to hyperspace. And you are on your way to Endor.
Should have just run away. We'd have to send them our registration.
But see, now when you get to Endor, you have X-Wings with you. So, that can be a good thing, potentially. Possibly. Depending on how you do things. It'll be fine. With that, we're gonna hop back to Jai. So Jai, you ran down that hallway. Your armor lost all of its paint, except for your gauntlets, which has changed to the paint scheme of your ship. and you come out of that hallway. You see Saxon in his full armor, holding the Darksaber, and he just looked. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Is it ignited?
It is not at the moment.
Perfect. What's he doing?
Currently staring at you with a what the fuck look on his face.
Neat. As fast as I can possibly move with the speed I built up on the run down, plus like trigger the jetpack for like a lunge thing if I need to. I basically want to get up and just like the vibro bayonet to his throat. Just boom, boom, hand on the Darksaber hilt, bayonet at his throat.
Okay. Go ahead and do a grapple check with advantage.
Oh boy.
Because you literally came out of thin air. And
There's one.
I need to look up some stats real quick.
Well, the second one was 33. It was almost a crit. Two numbers off of a crit. Arr.
Nice. So 33. What CL are you? Oh, that's too low.
No, that's fine. Use that one. It's good.
I'm trying to remember which template I'm using for Saxon. I think it was this one.
I mean, you could always just default to having Jai as Mandalore is very good.
It is, but you gotta earn it.
No. When you're right, you're right.
Where is your grapple number?
It should just be
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that is... Math is hard when you have too many things in your brain. Holy crap. Who wins in a tie on a grapple check?
Clearly the player. I will throw a force point on here. I'll throw a force point on this.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, you get the... you did tie, though. That was wild.
Oh, boy.
We're
We're going to make a fight out of it. I love it.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a struggle, even with the surprise. Like, there's like that sort of arm wrestling sort of sensation with trying to push, the Darksaber hand out of the way, and he does manage to ignite it, but he's just holding it while you've got this Beskar vibro bayonet up against his throat.
All right, so I've got a grip on it, on the saber.
Yeah, I assumed like probably his wrist.
Okay. Yeah.
But either one, though, I guess would be fine.
I would prefer on the saber.
Okay. Probably like half the saber, half his hand, just because it's not that long. But yeah, you've got a good grip on
that whole situation.
On that whole situation, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to look at him, just go like, bend the knee, and be free again.
Interesting. Could I get a persuasion check, essentially as intimidation?
I'm really debating just destiny pointing it.
That is an option.
So here's my logic behind that. If I just destiny point it and he does it, then he's acknowledging me as Mandalore, which means presumably all his Death Watch buddies will as well, which means I have the ship.
Potentially.
Yes, and like one ship amongst fleet, maybe not great, but it's... Okay. Can I use a destiny point after the fact?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So you said persuasion?
Yep.
Gross. I have no bonuses to this.
You can use strength instead of charisma for that if you want.
Oh, hold on then. Let me re-roll that. Well, it gives me a few more points. That's a crit.
Okay, we'll go with that.
That's a crit.
Now I gotta decide.
Especially since the first one was a crit fail.
Yeah,
We're going all over the place.
I'm going to, like, you've won in this scenario, but how you've won is what I'm trying to figure out.
Right.
How Saxon would do this. So evens or odds?
Oh no. Odds.
Odds. Okay. It was odds. So yeah, he lets go of the saber, and very wide-eyed, just sort of stares at you. Do you move the bayonet away, or are you still holding it there?
I'm still holding it there, but I've got the saber now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And it's on.
It probably off because he let go of it, but
Okay.
but you have it, yeah.
I'm gonna ignite it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold it up, and I'm gonna look him right in the visor. I'm just gonna go, "What's my name now?"
And there is a long pause, and you can just he's got the helmet on and everything, but you can see he's like shaking with anger even under the armor. And finally he just half says, half spits the name out and just says Mandalore.
I pull the bayonet away, put it down, put it away, and say, "Get my people gathered on my ship." And I'm going to try to cut the Death Watch insignia off of his shoulder with the blade. And I'm going to spend a destiny point to do it.
You can make an attack roll first without having to spend the destiny point.
Oh, but I really just want to spend it, so it's very good. I'm just going to use the Vibro bayonet stats right now, since I don't know what to do with
That works.
fucking Dark Saber. Ah!
Yeah.
I mean, 31 to attack.
That's plenty, yeah. You're able to do so. It just, I mean, it's Beskar, so it doesn't cut the armor, but it does sort of melt away that paint.
Burn off the paint, yeah.
And he's very stunned, obviously, and seething. But he takes a couple steps back away from you. And then, without a word, just runs out of the room to go, presumably to go do what you said, and you don't get any indication that he's like gonna do anything bad.
Well. Yeah, this has gone well. I'm gonna try my comms and see if I can get like an outbound signal to Bevan.
Not from here. You'd have to go to like a terminal on the ship.
Okay. I'm just gonna hang out then for a minute.
Okay.
I am gonna transfer the dark saber over to my dominant hand, actually, and just wait. What a good day.
All right. And with that, I think that's a good spot to call it. So yeah, we'll find out what happens with all of this next week in the finale. What happens to now Mandalore? If Naka, Ilsa, and Nadara get there in time to help. What happens with Darth Nex and Kieran, and if Zadu and the Jedi also arrive in time to help. And what's going to happen with the Black Fleet? Are they going to show up or not? We'll find out next week. That was a lot of fun. Before we go on a raid, I'm going to let everybody say what their favorite part was, where people can, where folks can find them next, anything they want to share or plug, and we'll go reverse order from how we started. So we'll start with Par. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
My favorite part. I think Anaka, Jai basically being like, Anaka, you need to get to the ship right now, and Anaka actually responding to that was probably my favorite part from this week. I can't really put my finger on why, but it's just a little moment that kind of stuck with me throughout the whole thing. So I'll shout that out as my favorite part. You can find me next Saturday, perhaps. Same time slot for Animus Violentus. And I have a podcast on my YouTube channel at Mr. Parr. It's coming, it should be potentially coming to Spotify soon. And what is it, Stitcher? I'm on the list. We'll see if it does. But if it doesn't, at least you can still watch it on YouTube.
Awesome. Next, we've got Matt. Favorite part, where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Oh boy. Selfishly, I want to say that whole last scene, but realistically, I'm kind of right there with Parr. Like just the team unity in that moment of just like, nope, we're doing this. We're all just doing it, was real good. Like real good. It's a good way to start the 2-part finale. Oh boy. Yeah, that was my favorite bit, was all of us just committing to the thing and doing it. That was great. You can find me next here on this channel on Tuesday night. I was about to say Tuesday nights, but it's just one more. It's just next Tuesday, with the conclusion of the Tuesday edition of our Dragon Age game. It is coming down to it now. It's great fun. You can also find me over on my Twitch channel, Fifth Draw Live. We're playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. We started that yesterday, and it's a lot of fun. I'm on there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Central Time. And you can also catch my podcast, Hard to Reboot, where me and 2 friends take a public domain property and give it a fresh coat of paint. And you can check out my shop. That was one of the last things put up in chat. Forge of Destiny over on Etsy. I make cool things like this Keyblade and like this lightsaber way back here. That's not a dark saber, but it's also very cool. And
also the one I'm holding.
Ooh, yeah, and that one. And a whole bunch of other prop things. We have a whole bunch of listings after our last con, so check it out. And that me.
Awesome. And then Jordan should be joining us next week. Go check her stuff out at Sassy with Sander. She normally plays Nadara, who I hope I did justice with the couple of things that I had Nadara do. The next, Nikki, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
I also agree. I like how everyone just at the end just decided they all have the same goal. They're all doing the same thing, trying to get Karen back. Your NPC has united us.
I'm so glad. Awesome.
I'm not sure when I'm on again. The end of the year, so everything is weird. I think Tuesday.
We've got the Tuesday finale next week, and then the next Thursday should be the finale for this one as well.
Okay, yeah, and I'm sure other places, but I cannot remember right now.
No worries. But folks can find that info on your Twitter, right?
Yeah, JaniePot7575.
Awesome. And then V, favorite part, where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
There were so many good parts. It felt like 3 separate episodes all happening at once. There was so much going on. I'd have to agree. The little scene at the end with Jai, it was really great. I love that Matt is always so willing to just pull off cool points with Destiny points. Like, you're not even gonna roll it first to see if it happens. You're just gonna go straight to Destiny point. I admire the tenacity. and then just everybody kind of picking their gifts in the cave. I thought it was really interesting to see what everybody wanted to do and how it was done. And Zadu just being like, you know what? Take it all. I don't care. Get rid of it. Who needs it? But yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens next week. As for myself, Alice is going to be back, I think, on Saturday for more Animus. I'm not quite sure where we left off last week. Or the last session, so I wasn't here for that one. So yeah, I'm excited to get him back in, maybe, and throw him into the fray of things again.
It'll be good. Yeah, the last session was basically setting up the meeting with the representative from Pillar Pharmaceuticals, who is pretty much what you'd expect from an evil corporation representative. He's very, very snooty. It's going to be pretty good. I'm excited. I'm
super pumped. But yeah, that's me. You can also find my art. I have an art Twitter, which is @PepperoDraws, and that's Pepper like the candy, just below my name card there at the top left. And I've been putting up some more digital stuff lately, so you can check that out and check me out on Friday and on Saturday. I don't know how the week works. Yeah, that's me.
Me either. Awesome. And that leaves me. My favorite part. Yeah, I always love it when there's like an emotional reaction to something that happens. So that last bit when I was first talking about the colors on the gauntlets, and seeing Matt's reaction to that was just, I love that. But all of it was amazing. I loved everybody's gifts that they asked for, and then seeing what people were willing to sacrifice to get to Kieran faster, or where they need to go faster. And I found it interesting that nobody was like, let me just give up that gift that I just got to get the thing, which I kind of thought somebody would do, and nobody did. I thought that was really fascinating, just in an interesting kind of way. Yeah, I enjoyed all of it. You all did such an awesome job with what I threw at you. I really liked it. And then where you can find me next, I'll be here tomorrow at noon Mountain Time for the next Friday Dragon Age game, our second group. I am really looking forward to that, because it's that whole group's a lot of fun. I'll be playing a very irreverent punk rock mage, Grey Warden. She's a lot of fun to play. And then Saturday for Animus Violentus at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, I'll be GMing that. And that's pretty much it for this week. And then other things to share or plug are just our sponsors, which I'm going to throw into chat here. They are Fundamental RPG. It's a simple D20 system. It's not tied to a genre, so you can use it for any style of game that you like, from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between. It looks like this. You can pick your copy up on Amazon, or if you prefer the PDF, you can grab that at coffee.com/Raven, like it's spelled at the bottom and top left-hand corner of the screen. And then go check out Die Hard Dice at dieharddice.com. They sell amazing polymer and metal dice sets and accessories, and it's just a really awesome company. Up until the 20th, you can get 15% off of your order if you use the code Animus with a capital A. After that, it goes to the normal 10%. They threw in an extra 5% discount for the holidays, which is really cool of them. And then I highly recommend the Avalor Isa Lifeblood set, or Issa Lifeblood set. There's a link to it in chat. I don't have a set of those to show you, but I do have one that is somewhat similar. This is another Avalor set, which I don't know if you can see on the camera because there's a bit of a glare, but like the sharp edges on the D4s and the D6s are sort of cut off at an angle, which makes them look really, really cool. And it also keeps your D4 from being a caltrip if you accidentally drop it and lose it, which is handy. But they look kind of like that, except the Lifeblood set is completely clear and it has red numbers. It's absolutely gorgeous. I highly recommend going and checking that out. And then finally, if you want to catch up on this show or any others that we have on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network, or you can catch our or go see our whole VOD library over on our YouTube channel, which if you go to YouTube and search for Black Feather Guild, it will pop right up. We're also going to have some YouTube exclusive streams next season, so be sure to subscribe over there and hit the notification button. And I think that's everything. So we're going to go on a raid. Just make sure that they're still online. Yeah, looks like they are. So we're going to go raid Bright Dystopia. He's just a really cool guy, plays a lot of different games and stuff. It's a real fun community over there. I highly recommend checking it out and giving a follow. So go say hi, and then I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.